Hello everybody. Boy, it's a beautiful view up here. Yeah, we're up on the Blue Ridge Parkway. About time for a beer. What do you think? Let's go see what's in the fridge today, guys. Hello everybody, thanks for stopping by Gregsbeerreviews today. Today's beer comes from West 6 Brewing. This is their IPA, their India Pale Ale. No date on the can. That is, you gotta have that. If you're gonna brew an IPA, guys, you gotta have a date somewhere on this. And as far as I'm concerned, just my opinion, it needs to be on each can, not on the 6-pack holder, not on the case, not anywhere else, but on each individual can or bottle. You got to do it, guys. You got to do it, especially if you're brewing an IPA. All right, I'm gonna get off the soapbox now. All right, West 6 IPA, guys. They're out of Lexington, Kentucky. This is an American IPA, 7% ABV. We'll see if it'll hold a candle to yesterday's beer, the Enjoy By. That'd be a tough call there. Alright, availability, it says year-round. According to Kyle, Kyle rounded these up, a good friend of mine, sent me several very tasty beers. I'm sure they're going to be. This is the second one, I think, out of the batch we did. We did the Amber, and now we're doing the IPA. I appreciate it, Kyle. Thanks for rounding these beers up for me. This is the brewery that got into the trouble over their emblem, the 6, being close to Magic Hat. So, like I told you when I did the Amber, I'm on these guys' side, not Magic Hat. They got bought out by a big conglomerate several years ago, so they got the big bucks that they can go pick on the little guys, and I don't appreciate that. They don't make a good enough beer to be on that bandwagon as far as I'm concerned. So, just my opinion. There are some Magic Hat guys out there just love it to death, and you can have my share, brothers. That's how I feel about it. So we're going to get on with this, and this is all about West 6, not Magic Hat. So we're going to see if this lives up to it. He sent me 2 of these, so I appreciate that, Kyle. All right, this, like I said, is American IPA, 7%. Food pairing cuisine is curried in the Thai food. The typical IPA foods and cheeses. Your sharp blue, your more pungent cheeses, sharp blue, peppery, Monterey, pepper jack, your more pungent cheeses, Gorgonzola Limburger, even cheddar, just about anything goes with an IPA. A pale and an IPA are basically, other than your lager drinkers or your Pilsner drinkers, they like to drink the lighter stuff. And us fat boys like to drink those little tastier stuff. So I'm stereotyping all of us chunky guys and that, but there's a lot of people that don't like the IPA, so it's just too bitter for them, especially if they're used to drinking those lightweight macro lagers. So you have to work your way into this, and just like I did. I mean, at one time I thought Dogfish 90 was just blowed the palate out of my mouth. I didn't like it, and 60 was the hot tip. I drink 60 and still like it, but I think the 90 is a little tastier at the end of the evening. So that would be, as far as I'm concerned, that's the end of the evening beer. The 90 is, other than a stout. I might have to pull out a lighter weight stout. I wouldn't drink a 90 and then drink something like a 10% stout. I would, but I wouldn't tell you that I did. Alright, guys. As far as I'm concerned, that's just my opinion on that, guys. Just don't say, well, that's not the guidelines or that's not this. That's just my opinion. That's what this whole show's about, what I think about it. You may agree, you may disagree. So that's the way it is. That's the real world, ain't it? Alright, guys. The glassware for this, the pint, the Becker, the Nonic, the Stein, the mug, about anything you want to pour it in. Just pour it into something. And I always say pour it into something. And the reason I say that is because it releases the carbonation and it doesn't fill you up as much. If you're drinking it out of the can or out of the bottle, I mean, you all that's in there. You're just shaking it up and drinking all that air and foam and all that. You pour it in there and it releases. That's what all them bubbles are doing in the glass, and it calms down. You know, It doesn't fill you up as much. So that's the reason I say that, guys. You might be able to drink one or more two beers than your buddies if you're pouring it into a glass rather than drinking it out of the bottle. Because you might make a few less trips to the bathroom. Alright guys, this beer is not recommended for extended cellaring, but if it had a date on it, you would know how far you could cellar it, so you have no idea. You're buying a pig in a poke. I know this is a fresh one because Kyle sent me the ambers and the IPAs fresh. As fresh as he could get them anyway, so without the date, nobody knows. So let's pop the cap on this one. Alright, into the glass we go. Go down the middle and get us up a good finger of a head or so here. Alright, let me get that out there so you can see it. They have to change this film. I'm going to take the star off of it because Magic Hat said it was too close to their inverted 9 and they owned a 9, they say. So I'll say anybody can own a number. What they said, so number 9, it belongs to Magic Hat. So if you got number 9, don't use it. It belongs to Magic Hat. They'll see your ass. Alright guys, over into the light. It is kind of cloudy. It's not very clear. Almost looks like an unfiltered IPA. I would probably step on that soapbox and say it is an unfiltered IPA. But there are no chunks, no big floaties, no cement blocks floating around in it. So it doesn't have to have all that stuff, guys. Unless something is coagulated and settled to the bottom of the bottle, or it's bottle conditioned. And usually the bottle conditioned bottles, it has sediment in the bottle, but it doesn't look like a lava lamp inside with all the big globs floating around in it. So that's just my opinion. Alright guys. Very orangey, very tangerine color. Looks very good in the glass. I don't have a problem with drinking an unfiltered beer. I'm pretty sure this is an unfiltered one. Comes out of the can so you can't see what's in the bottle, what's in the bottom of the bottle because you can't see through the can. So I can deal with that. I can deal with that. And I can even deal with a Cigar City High Life that has some chunks in it. Although, it's got a fresh batch in, and it doesn't have any chunks at all in it. So, what's up with that? Is it supposed to have chunks in it, or not supposed to have chunks in it, or what's going on with that Cigar City? Kind of surprised. Everything that I've had so far of them, as far as High Lives, had chunks in it, and this batch didn't. They must have run short on hops. What do you think, guys? Alright, guys. I'm rambling on, ain't I? Yeah, this looks very good in the glass. Kyle, thanks for sending this up to me. Let's get a nose on it. It smells very wonderful. I'm getting some grapefruit, some lighter fruit, maybe some tangerine or some mango or something like that. It smells very, very pleasant. As an IPA fan and a hophead, grow my own hops. I've already got hop cones out there that long. First harvest will probably come. It won't be a big one, but there are enough for me to grab them off. I don't want them to go bad and just fall off because I didn't harvest them. So I'm gonna do the first harvest probably this weekend. So let's give it a taste. What do you think? It smells very wonderful, tangerine-y. Not quite to the yesterdays, but this is only a, what I tell you, it's a 7%. That was almost 9.5. Wow. Cheers, Kyle. Cheers, everybody. Yes. Not to the extent that we had yesterday, of course, but very nice. Very pleasant IPA, very sessionable IPA. For 7%, not getting any alcohol. Yes. Very awesome. It's not a sweet IPA like a Bell's Two Hearted Ale is. But it's a very balanced beer. It's got enough bitterness to counteract the sweetness. But it isn't super sweet like a Bell's is. It's very nice. Orangey, tangerine, some lighter fruit. Maybe some pears in there. Apples. I'll have to take another sip. Yes, very tasty. If I could get this beer, you would see it in the fridge, guys. Speaking of the fridge, this is right out of the fridge. Very nice lacing and sleeving on the glass. Awesome. Definitely a better lacing on this than I got off the Stone beer. I didn't get a lot of lacing, but I was out on the deck drinking that, smoking a cigar when I did that one. So it was like 80 some degrees, so that may have contributed to not having as much lacing. I don't know, guys. Plus, it was 9.4%, so probably not going to generate the lacing that a lower ABV is going to generate like this. So let's let it warm up. Let everybody taste it and see what she thinks of it. And we'll come back and do the final chug. Stick around. All right, guys, I'm back. Got just a little left here. This is a pretty tasty beer. Not blowing my hair back on my socks off or anything, but I'm going to give it the benefit of the doubt, I believe. Let's do the final chug here. I've been sipping on this for probably 30 minutes, so it's almost room temperature. Very citrusy, floral, a nice balance between the bitterness and the hoppiness on this one. So this is an awesome beer for a session type IPA. Even though it's 7%, it's still, I'm not getting any alcohol now that it's warmed up. Not enough to say it's burning or doing anything crazy like that. So very tasty. Kyle, thanks again for rounding this one up for me. Very tasty beer. If I could get this beer, you would see probably more of it in the fridge, but I cannot, so I'm glad I got to taste it. I'm definitely on their beer side, West 6, other than Magic Hats. This beer is definitely better than any Magic Hat beer that I've ever had. So with that being said, guys, if it had a date on the bottom, I would probably give it a 9 out of 10. Since it has no date, it's going to get the 8, which is an A-. I definitely think it's an A beer, worthy of tasting and trying if you're a hophead and you can get it. I think it's got a very, very limited distribution, probably just around Lexington, Kentucky. I don't know how far out it goes. Kyle might be able to enlighten us on that, but I don't think it goes out very far from there. I don't think they're that big, so that's why I was basically on their side. I really hate when you get a conglomerate beer company jumping on a smaller beer company over something as trivial as that. Like they have a trademark on the number 9, which I think is horse hockey. So guys, it's a decent beer. Give it a try if you can get your hands on it or somebody will send it to you. Rate Beer has us at 97 overall and 97 in the style, so impressive numbers there. And Beer Advocate comes up with 89 in their good range, and you know how conservative those guys are now. So it's very tasty. So if you can get your hands on it, get your hands on it, get your lips on it, get everything on it. Get it down in your belly. It's delicious. It's tasty. So guys, that being said, hit the like button. Need a shirt. It got 2 yellow openers and 1 orange one left. Better grab them before they're gone. All kind of shirts. Smalls all the way to XXX. If you need one, give me a shout. And speaking of shouting, shout it out. Let's go see what's in the fridge.